Hey guys, this is WaterUp24 from MondayMorningMTG.com, and I'm bringing you a deck tech from one of my favorite decks that I've been using that works great and actually can do a turn 4 win very, very quickly. Now, as you can probably tell from here, from the cards you can see in front of you, you can see the Rakdos Cackler, Rakdos Keyrune, Bump in the Night, and Dragon Skull Summit. You can probably assume it's going to be a black-red Rakdos. So this is going to be pretty much straight Rakdos burn and unleash stuff. And one thing I'd like to say before beginning, this is the first video I'm doing with an actual tripod mounted with my iPhone as opposed to what I had been using before. So here we go. Let me start with the creature base. So I'm just going to move these over to the side here. Alright, so with the creature base, we have 4 Rakdos Cacklers, 4 Shred Freaks, 4 Chainwalkers, 2 Thrillkill Assassins, 3 Hellhole Flailers, 2 Cryptborn Horrors, of course alternate art, full art foils from the game day, 2 Desecration Demons, and a Necropolis Regent. So first of all, starting with the Rakdos Cackler. It is a 1/1 devil creature for either a red or black mana, uncommon, with Unleash. So pretty much on your first turn you can have a 2/2. And that's great, which is why there are 4 of them in there. Next up we have Rakdos Shred Freak. On turn 2, you can either pay 2 red, 2 black, a red or a black, for a 2/1 with Haste. And this pairs up very well with Rakdos Cackler, turn 1, turn 2 Shred Freak, so therefore you're attacking for 4 damage on turn 2, which makes it really fast. That takes them already down to 16, which is 20% of their life already. Then after that, for 1 red and a colorless, I have 4 Gorehouse Chainwalkers, with Unleash of course, so it will become a 3/2 whenever it is played, so you could have a 3/2 on turn 2 and then swing for 5 on your third turn. So that's why I included that. Of course, I included a lot of these because it's all of the Unleash and really powerful stuff and it's fast. Alright, 2 Thrillkill Assassins are in here mainly because of the Death Touch part, but also because of Unleash. So you're going to have a 2/3 with Death Touch, which is pretty much a Vampire Nighthawk without lifelink or flying. Well, and Nighthawks can block too, but it's pretty much an attacking only Nighthawk without lifelink or flying as long as you unleash it, because you have the Death Touch. And it's also cheaper too, so uncommon, very useful. Next up I have 3 Hellhole Flailers. Uncommon, 1 black, 1 red, and 1 colorless. You can unleash it so it would become a 4/3 instead of the 3/2 it already is. And for 1 red, 1 black, and 2 colors, you can sacrifice it and it deals damage equal to its power to target player. So if you unleash it, it's 4, if not, it's 3, or you could just throw +1/+1 counters on it, but then again, it can't block even if you put the +1/+1 counters on there artificially, aka not through Unleash. Alright, so 3 of those, 2 Thrillkill Assassins, 4 Chainwalkers, 4 Shred Freaks, and 4 Cacklers. Then I have 2 Cryptborn Horrors, because nothing's better than after your attack phase and your second main phase, throwing down something like a 9/9 Trampler for only 3 mana. 1 red, 1 black, 2 red, 2 black, or whatever combination that you want. Whatever combination of red or black you want for the first 2 slots, and then a colorless for one of these, where it can come in with however much damage you've dealt to your opponent. So if you deal 10 one turn, this can become a 10/10 Trampler, which is great. Of course, they're rare. I just have these because they're awesome. I actually got one for placing top 8 and traded for 2 more, which is why I have 2 in the deck. Okay, next up we have 2 Desecration Demons, which are 2 black, 2 colorless, for 6/6 flyers. Of course, these are rare, which I don't know what happened. I pulled like 5 or 6 of these from booster packs, so I'm pretty happy with that because these are really useful. Anyway, flying, and at the beginning of each combat, an opponent may sacrifice a creature, and if they do, you can tap this and put a +1/+1 counter on it. These are really good win conditions because you can get it pumped really easily because your opponents don't want you hitting them for 6 in the air, and then 7, then 8, then 9, and of course with populate decks they can easily get rid of it, or they can easily get rid of some of their tokens. But with this, it's a great win condition because you can swing for 6 in the air pretty easily, and sometimes they don't have anything they can do about it because it's flying, and they might not even have any creatures to tap to get rid of it. So, or even any control spells to stop it. So I got 2 of those, and then last but not least for creatures, I've got Necropolis Regent. 3 black, 3 colorless. For flying, it's a 6/5 mythic rare, of course. It's a vampire, and whenever a creature I control deals combat damage to a player, I can put that many +1/+1 counters on it. So, say Cryptborn Horror, that's a 10/10, deals 10 damage, becomes a 20/20. Assuming that my opponent would, of course, have 10 life to keep living after I put out a 10/10 Cryptborn Horror, which, well, that's completely off topic there, but so that's why I included this. Just as an extra bumping thing, but pretty much I can get an opponent down in 4 or 5 turns, so I don't really need a turn 6 drop. This is for the longer games when it's longer, more drawn out, because someone's throwing down so much stuff and stopping my stuff, blocking it, killing it, etc. and so forth, like populate decks. Which I played one very difficult game with a guy at an F&M who had a very crazy populate deck. Of course, it was the only time it worked that way, but, I mean, I still won the match, but it was 2-1 because that second game, I don't know what happened. Alright, so we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 creatures. So it's 22 creatures in the deck. Set those off to the side. Included are 2 Rakdos key runes for the extra mana, of course, on turn 3. So by turn 4 I can have 5 mana if I have all the land I need. And of course, a 3/1 creature with first strike. Never hurts to have a little bit of a backup plan. Alright, gonna drop those over there. I think now is time for the burn and control suite. So Bump of the Night is one of my favorite cards because it doesn't deal damage. An opponent just loses 3 life, and it is 1 black. So pretty much it is a lightning bolt that doesn't deal damage. It just takes the life. And it has flashback, which makes it even better. Because later down the road, when you have 6 mana open, in the event you actually make it that far, and your opponent has 3 life left, and they can block everything you throw at them, and it's either you die next turn, or you can deal 3 damage to them this turn, which is impossible. Find this in your graveyard, tap the 6 mana, 3 life immediately. Unless they have a counterspell because they're running blue. But I really, really like Bump of the Night. It's a really awesome card. And it's a common from Innistrad, so if you ever want to do like a black deck filled with hate, throw 4 of these in. Alright, next up we have 4 Searing Spears. 3 damage for 1 red and 1 colorless to target creature or player. Of course, it's not as good as Lightning Bolt, which of course is just 1 red, which last time it was printed was M11. So, it's not as good as that, but still, I mean, you can throw spells. It's useful just to have. And Pillar of Flame only does 2, sometimes you need 3 or something. Okay, then I got 2 Mizium Mortars here, which deal 4 damage to target creature you don't control, and it's 1 red and 1 colorless, as well as an overload cost of 3 red and 3 colorless, which deals 4 damage to all creatures you don't control. Or each creature you don't control, rather. So, this is pretty useful in the event there's something really big up there. I know in one game there's like a 6/6, and all I could do is throw a Mizium Mortars and a Searing Spear down on a creature to get rid of it, or else I would be taking a lot of pain because I had all my creatures unleashed. So, that's a good thing to have there, of course. And, of course, one of my favorite burn spells from Avacyn Restored, well, actually, one of my favorite burn spells, it's from Avacyn Restored, Thunderous Wrath. Typically, you wouldn't want any of these in your opening hand, but it's always nice to hard cast a 6 mana, 5 damage to target creature or player. Miracle is why they're in there, though. 1 red, hopefully on like turn 2, 1 red to deal 5 damage directly to your opponent. I mean, if they're down to 15 by turn 2, even before you begin attacking, that's pretty good for you. Which is why they're in there. And then a kill switch for all my opponent's creatures. Aside from Mizzium Mortis dealing 4 damage, Bonfire of the Damned to deal X damage to target creature and each creature he or she controls. Always good to have one of these in there. Unfortunately, I only have one, but they're also really, really, really expensive. So, 1 Bonfire of the Damned paired with 3 Thunderous Wraths. So I got the 4 Miracle cards in here. Or 4 red Miracle Burn cards in here. And that deals with the Burn Suite of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So, already we have 22 plus the 2 artifacts is 24 plus the 16 burn spells. At least I'm pretty sure I said 16. Gee, I hope so. No, 14. 14 plus the 22 creatures and 2 artifacts. That's 24 plus 14, which pretty much leaves 22 land left. Sorry, been a long day. Still a little sick from whatever I had a couple weeks ago, and I'm not thinking straight after all the classes and stuff today. Okay, so, your mana. 4 Dragon Skull Summons. These are pretty easy to find because they've been reprinted, or they were originally printed in M10, reprinted through all core sets, at least through M13. We don't know if they're going to be in M14 yet, but I have a feeling they will, and if not, they're going to have something pretty darn close. And, of course, I have a foil one. It was very nice to pull that, because I use them, of course. So, 1 black, 1 red, and they enter the battlefield tapped unless I control a swamp or a mountain. So it's always nice to have those, because dual lands are great to have. 2 Blood Crypts, because I only have 2. Shockland, it's your typical Shockland for Rakdos. Black or red, and you can either pay 2 life to bring it in untapped, or just leave it tapped and not pay any life. It's nice to have the option, but to get this going as fast as I want it to, one of these in opening hand, pay the 2 life, drop a Cackler. But I'll show you the ideal hand later. Alright, after that, 2 Guild Gates. These are in here purely because I don't have 2 Blood Crypts. And, yeah. I guess I could replace one with a mountain, one with a swamp, but didn't really want to do that. 2 Evolving Wilds, because it's always nice to shuffle a deck every so often, because sometimes you need to, or you're not finding all the color you want, because maybe you're getting only mountains, no dual lands or anything. You want a swamp, because you need a swamp to play whatever. So, nice to have 2 of these. So that handles 10 of the land. We have 12 land left. Yeah. Which leaves us with 6 mountains. I mean, it's mountains. I don't have to explain them. And, of course, 6 swamps, which I also don't have to explain. For 22 land. Which, I mean, typically you want 22 to 24 land. 22 land works here because it's fast and everything's cheap, for the most part. A couple spells cost 6, but that's neither here nor there. Okay. So, ideal hand opening, or your ideal opening hand would look something like, trying to figure out where to find it, or, of course I don't have it already pre-set up. I mean, give or take for the mountain, it could be a swamp. But your ideal starting hand will look something like this. Let me just organize it for you. 4 mana, hopefully one of them being a Blood Crypt. This could be a dual land or a black or whatever, but ideally this. Mainly because on your first turn, you want to take 2 life from your Blood Crypt, tap it for the Cackler, which you would then... Here, I need to fix that. There we go. Which you would then want to unleash. Those are crystal counters, by the way, in case you're wondering. Next turn, you draw... I didn't shuffle it. I'll do a quick breeze through in a little bit, but I didn't shuffle it, so just say you draw something. Next is Dragon Skull Summit. Tap 2 for the Shred Freak, which then, at that point, you can then attack for 4. Your opponent's down to 16. Hopefully they haven't gotten anything out to beat you with on their next turn. Turn after that, untap, draw, Mountain, tap 3 for Hellhole Flailer, swing for another 4, which, I mean, that's going to be pretty devastating right there. They're already down to 8 on turn 3, or they're already down by 8 on turn 3. They're at 12 life. Then next turn, hopefully you will have drawn another land of some sort. I'll just put a swamp in here for now. Oh. Yeah, I did unleash that. Okay. Then you want to put down a swamp. So you have a mountain, a swamp, 2 dual lands, cast Desecration Demon. Of course, they're not going to want to sacrifice anything to tap it. And then you attack for 2, plus 2, 4, plus another 4 is 8. They're already down to 4 life now. So that is on turn 4. They're down to 4 life. Ideally, I would have had like Thunderous Wrath or something somewhere in there, perhaps. But this is if you didn't draw any burn, you just had creatures. Best creature mounted attack. Your next turn, you draw a card. Maybe Thunderous Wrath. You can blow them off now, or in the event they now have creatures to block with. Well, actually, the Desecration Demon could probably handle it, but I mean, just for the show of it, they need 4 damage. This is a 4/3. Tap a red, a black, 2 colorless, and then you sacrifice this to deal damage equal to its power to target player. And it was a 4/3 because it was unleashed. So you deal 4 damage directly to them. Game over for them, turn 5. Of course, you could also do some really, really nasty stuff with, if you had a Bump of the Night first turn. Second turn, you pull out a Shred Freak and a Cackler, or 2 Cacklers or something. Turn 3, you could throw out a Thunderous Wrath and another Shred Freak. Yeah, okay. Imagine this. First turn, Bump the Night, 3 damage. Second turn, Rakdos Shred Freak, attack for 2. They're down by 5, they're at 15. Next turn, you draw a Thunderous Wrath, Miracle it for 1 red, deal 5 damage to them. They're at 10. You can also drop a Shred Freak from your hand with another man you played. So then you can attack for 4. They're already down to 6. And pretty much by then it's going to start being pretty easy. You can start cleaning them out. The deck doesn't take very long to get rid of them or to destroy your opponent. Just 4 or 5 turns if played optimally. But that's all relative. Because optimally could be anything. Now, let me just go ahead and shuffle this. Okay, that was land. Shuffle burn spells and creatures together. Of course, they're all stacked right now, so this will be the worst representation of it. Try and do this really fast so I don't have to worry about anything too much. about taking your time while I'm shuffling. Alright, so hopefully you guys have liked the video so far, and maybe the quality is better with the tripod. I've got it, I don't know how many inches up. I think I put it up about 2.5, 3 feet above my desk to look at the playmat. Alright, land shuffled, put this in here. Of course, I do have to reach through the tripod, but that's not too bad. And its travel tripod shrinks down to 11 inches, so I will take it to my pre-release, coming up really soon. Well, at the time of filming this, this is the Thursday before the Friday night of the which is before the pre-release. So pretty much next weekend, not the one in 2 days, but the one in about 9 days, is pre-release. So I'll be taking this with me, where I will probably be playing Boros first time, Simic second time, and Orzhov third time. If I go to the Sunday pre-releases, I will do Gruul and Dimir in that order. Dimir, the promo card, I personally, the promo card itself, I'm not a fan of that card. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's not my favorite card. So I wouldn't really want to go into the pre-release knowing this is the rare I have. Or this is one of the rares I have. Okay, so we'll give it my signature cut. 1, 2, 3. So we go 2, 1, 3. Take it, split it in half. Take the top 7 off. Put it in my hand. Honestly, not the best. But I can take it, I guess. Alright, Rakdos Guildgate. Next turn, draw. Swamp for a Shred Freak. 2. Next turn, you draw a Dragon Skull Summit. So at this point, I would probably do a Cackler and a Gorehouse Chainwalker Unleashed. Let me just denote them again. Deal another 2 damage. They're at 16 now. That was turn 3. Draw turn 4. You have a Blood Crypt. At this point, I'm just going to tap Sacrifice and Evolving Wilds. Search for a mountain. And Bum of the Night was the next card over. Put a mountain in play tapped. Quickly shuffle. I'm not going to worry too much about it, just 2 quick ones, because this is just to show you how it works. Alright, so that was the beginning of the turn. They're already down to 16, so 14, 12, 9, assuming they don't have blockers at this point. So they're down to 9 life. This is what we have in the hand. I mean, why not Searing Spear? They're down to 6 life. Next turn, they're probably going to be toast. Probably, not sure. Draw a Necropolis Regent. Not going to need it. Blood Crypt and tapped. We don't need that. Swing for 7. Maybe able to block something. And if they do happen to survive one more turn, or they haven't taken all the damage that is possible based out of the deck already, Desecration Demon as a creature for the turn. And the Miracle card here. Hand, Miracle card. 5 damage next turn in the event that they have not already died in the assault on turn 5. So that's how the deck works, as you can see. Necropolis Regent wouldn't have come in for another till I got another land, which Thrill Kill Assassin, Mountain. By that point, you probably would have already won the game with Desecration Demon, Thunderous Wrath, Searing Spear, and the 3 creatures already out there, plus the Thrill Kill Assassin if you put it down there. And of course, the Desecration Demon is another creature, but that's the original 3 you put out. There you have it. Hope you enjoyed this deck tech. This is one of my favorites. So, see you guys. One last thing about the Rakdos Fast Attack deck. I did not go over the sideboard. Probably should have. Completely forgot about it. Got a little caught up in it. The sideboard, which actually is from cards that were originally in the deck before I switched them with other things, but the sideboard consists of 4 Dino charges. Target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. 1 red, and then the overload 2 colorless and 1 red to give all of your creatures +2/+0. 4 Deviant Glees, 1 black, to enchant creatures to give it +2/+1, and with the payment of 1 red mana, that creature gains trample until end of turn. Again, I've never had to use these in the deck in its current configuration. 2 Carnival Hellsteeds, which is 6 mana, so it's going to take a lot, but it's 5/4 with Unleash, First Strike, and Haste. Not too bad, but again, haven't really had to use them. 3 Spawn of Rixmati, 1 black, 1 red, 3 colorless for 5/3 with Unleash. It's just in there, it's another Rakdos Unleash creature. And then, last but not least, 2 Rakdos Rage Mutts of Lifelink Haste 3/3 for 5 mana, 1 red, 1 black, and 3 colorless. So, as you can see, that's the sideboard. In the event you actually need an upper hand through Dino Charge and Deviant Glee, you could, but in the way it already is, with the burn spells and already the fast unleashingness, I mean, you don't really need the sideboard, but I figured I probably needed to include it, because you might be wondering, what happened to the sideboard? All the other decks have sideboards. Well, I think all of them do. One of them I don't think did, the Goblin deck I built. Anyway, that's beside the point. That is the sideboard. That is the deck. Hope you enjoyed.